Welcome to the Rundown with Nerd Union. I'm Taryn Belle, reporting for the weekend of February 4th, 2022. Before we get started, if you enjoy Nerd Union on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the red bell icon in the top right corner so you'll get notified whenever we go live or drop a new episode of The Rundown. For movie news, in an interview with Variety, Rachel Zegler confirms that her Shazam 2 character will be one of 3 goddesses in the film, with the other 2 played by confirmed cast members Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren. Zegler was coy about the exact nature of her role previously, as we've seen shots of her armored up like Liu and Mirren, but also in scenes with Jack Dylan Grazer's Freddy and what appeared to be romantic interest scenes. Zegler also said in the interview that even with her confirmation, fan speculation on her role still hasn't hit the nail on the head. So there may be more to this role than even the leaked set photos would lead us to believe. In a statement released by Roku and Tango, they announced a brand new biography on the life of Weird Al Yankovic, titled Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, starring Daniel Radcliffe as Yankovic. The film is being co-produced and written with the real-life Yankovic alongside Eric Appel, while also adding some producer talent from the Funny or Die comedy website. The announcements from the producing team and Roku are quite spot on for a project involving Weird Al Yankovic. For example, Appel said, "When Weird Al first sat me down against my will and told me his life story, I didn't believe any of it, but I knew that we had to make a movie about it." Or from Yankovic himself, "When my last movie, UHF, came out in 1989, I made a solemn vow to my fans that I would release a major motion picture every 33 years, like clockwork. I'm very happy to say we're on schedule, and I'm absolutely thrilled that Daniel Radcliffe will be portraying me in the film. I have no doubt whatsoever that this is the role future generations will remember him for." Or Roku's chief of programming, Colin Davis, said, "There clearly aren't enough biopic movies about famous musicians, and we were excited to shine a light on the incredibly true, unexaggerated story of Weird Al." But the best one might be from Funny or Die owner Henry Muniz III, adding that, "We are honored to partner with Roku, Tango, and our director Eric Appel on this important movie. Weird has brought together a weird and wonderful team of creative people to tell the story of a man who has made people laugh and sing across the world." Took the words right out of my mouth, Henry. No word yet on when the movie will premiere, but it will air exclusively on the Roku channel when it does. In streaming, if you want to enjoy Netflix in HD, it's going to cost you more this year. The January price hike that just went into effect means your non-HD one-screen price is increasing to $9.99. HD with 2 screens will be $15.49, while the 4K 4-screen option will be $19.99. With the streaming competition increasing over the past few years, and various companies vying for content and snapping up shows and movies left and right, it's no surprise that Netflix has made this move. One thing to keep in mind, though, all of these plans are ad-free by default, as Netflix has never had an in-video advertisement on the platform. So if you're considering jumping ship, you should factor that into your budget. In more Netflix news, CBR has confirmed the rating of the streamer's upcoming Sandman adaptation from acclaimed author Neil Gaiman. The show will be TVMA for scenes of language, violence, and sex, and was updated to specifically note moments of self-harm, suicide, and smoking, which is not surprising given the material. The Last of Us adaptation for HBO has added Storm Reid to the cast, where she'll be playing Riley Abel. According to Collider, in the game series, Riley is an orphan teen fighting to survive in post-apocalyptic Boston. Riley is an integral part of the game as the Duragonist in the DLC The Last of Us Left Behind and the 4-issue comic series The Last of Us American Dreams. The game's main protagonist, Ellie, meets Riley, and the two become best friends before we ever meet Joel. Whether the origin story for these characters will remain the same is yet to be seen. Reid joins Nick Offerman as recently announced A-list additions, alongside main cast Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. Matthew Vaughn's latest installment in the Kingman series, The King's Man, didn't make a major splash at the box office with Spider-Man No Way Home dominating the record books, but if you weren't able to catch the film in theaters, the latest spy thriller will debut on Hulu on February 18th, while some international markets like the UK, Ireland, Japan, and Korea will get it a week earlier, February 9th on Disney+. As the Sundance Film Festival concluded last weekend, it's customary for new film releases to get picked up by distributors, with official release dates getting announced. Searchlight Pictures has picked up the rights to Fresh, a new thriller film starring Daisy Edgar Jones and Sebastian Stan that tells the story of Noah, played by Jones, who is tired of the online dating space and takes a chance on Sebastian's Steve, only to discover that he has an unusual appetite which could prove deadly. The movie debuted during Sundance's Midnight section and will premiere on Hulu March 4th. Gotham Knights, the highly anticipated Batman Arkham spin-off game, is getting an on-screen adaptation on the CW Arrowverse. Knights picks up where the Arkham games series left off, as Nightwing and his fellow Bat family members attempt to pick up the pieces in Gotham after Bruce's untimely death. How the CW series will tie in to the current continuity of the Arrowverse, specifically with Batwoman, is unclear, since there's already a Caped Crusader running around in Earth Prime. It's possible the show will be running concurrently with the Arrowverse as another Earth, like Crisis established, and as we're currently seeing with Stargirl, set in Earth 2 continuity. There's also no indication if this show will utilize the Nightwing in HBO's Titans, currently played by Brenton Thwaites, or Red Hood, played by Karan Walters. But it's worth noting that Greg Berlanti, producer of the Arrowverse, also produces Titans, so that crossover potential is certainly there. In gaming, Doctor Who Don't Blink is being released April 2022 by Gale Force 9 as a tactical board game trying to evade the eerie weeping angels before they send the players back in time to devour their victims' temporal energies. Very wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey villainy. According to comicbook.com, it is a 30-minute game for 2 to 5 players, and one player takes on the role of the Weeping Angels, while the other players take on the roles of the 11th Doctor and his companions, Amy, Rory, and Clara. The action takes place on a derelict spaceship, with the players trying to collect the 4 pieces needed to get the TARDIS operational before the Weeping Angels can corner the party. Just remember, the image of a Weeping Angel is an angel, so purchase at your own risk. In merch, Walmart's limited edition Dune Box Set invites you to put your hand in the box, but you won't have a Bene Gesserit staring you down in case you fail. The new DVD Blu-ray box art prominently features the Pain Box design from the film, along with the family crests of House Atreides and Harkonnen, and a sleeve cover reminding Dune fans of where your hand goes. The box was released on January 16th and is still available on their website. If you want a little chaos magic in your life, pre-orders are now open for a Funko Pop of Scarlet Witch from the post-credit scene of WandaVision, where she's floating while reading the Darkhold. The arrival date is set for June 2022. As part of this vinyl figures exclusive for Entertainment Earth, the Scarlet Witch has a special glow-in-the-dark feature that can still be activated while staying in the box thanks to a display window. Brings a whole new meaning to seeing red. Before I sign off, I'm happy to share an update on Michael Hogan, gruff yet beloved Ty from Battlestar Galactica, who experienced a scary slip and fall while attending a dinner wrapping up a BSG fan convention back in February 2020. Previously, Nerd Union had reported about this accident on our live streams once the nerd community found out about it via a GoFundMe for Hogan gained traction through fellow BSG cast sharing their support of the actor. After the accident, Hogan experienced partial paralysis and cognitive issues, including trouble swallowing and memory loss. Hogan's wife, Susan, recently gave an update on their GoFundMe page, as reported by Cinema Blend, that he has been regaining strength in his paralyzed right side, eating mostly regular food. Susan notes she sneaks him in chocolate and pieces of pie and cookies, and he has found a lot of focus by continuing to work on his one-man show through all this. Hogan is a man with a mission, so say we all. Remember to subscribe to Nerd Union's Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube channels for our live shows, news updates, and our upcoming video series on movies, games, and more nerd content. Special shout out to our Nerd Union Patreon supporters. We appreciate your monthly contributions, which helps us put out content like this. Doug Schumann and Shelby Johnson. Till next time, I'm Taryn Belle, and this has been The Rundown with Nerd Union.